What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we have a very interesting but a good video for you. I want to address this new banking crisis that we are now about to see. Because what a lot of people have been wondering is it safe to keep your money in the banks? Should I go to the bank and pull it all out because I'm just worried? Well, guess what? Just going to the bank and pulling out all your money so that you can hold on to it and never lose it is probably not the best bet. But I want to address why this is concerning, because the bank is potentially not the safest place to keep your money. But we will address that in today's video. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below, and I will try to get to them as soon as possible. But the one thing that I do ask is if you enjoy these daily updates, do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. Now, this is one of the reasons why we are going to address the banking crisis today. Because of this article from Reuters. It says, shares of U.S. banks drop after S&P downgrades some ratings. Now, S&P is different from Moody's, different from other agencies. But what you need to keep in mind is when a bank is downgraded, it is downgraded for, it could be multiple reasons. But the reasons they're downgrading banks now, well, it's kind of concerning. Let's go ahead and read a little bit of the article. It says, shares of several U.S. banks fell on Tuesday, the day after ratings agency S&P Global followed Moody's in cutting its credit rating on some regional lenders with high commercial real estate exposure. Think about this for a second. Real estate, especially commercial real estate, has been hit hard, especially with workers not going back to the office. They're working from home. They're working from remote locations. So these big offices, these big buildings are pretty much vacant. Well, if nobody's in it, then guess what? The people that are renting it, right, leasing the building, they're probably not going to renew a lease. When that lease is up, that building is going to stay vacant and nobody's going to be paying for it. It will be up to the bank. Now, let's continue reading this article. It says S&P's action will make borrowing more costly for a banking sector aiming to recover from a crisis earlier this year, when 3 regional lenders failed, prompting broader industry turmoil. Now, this is exactly right. That right now it is going to be extremely expensive for banks to try to recover from the crisis that we saw earlier. Well, they're trying to recover in multiple different ways. I want to ask you this as well. Have you seen banks charging a surcharge? Are their fees just increasing? Well, I bring this up because these are three people sent me messages or comments on videos just recently. Here are 3 people that got charged a surcharge. One said, Bank of America charged me a surcharge for speaking with a representative about my existing account. Bank of America charged them to speak with somebody at the bank. Yeah. Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me before where I don't remember the bank, and this was years ago, but the bank tried to charge me, I think it was like $4.95 just to go and speak with somebody about a residential account, okay, for a mortgage. I thought that was insane because it just had one question. They said, but you can call and it's free. But you go into the bank, they charge you. Interesting. Another person said, one major bank charged me to get a printout of my recent transactions in order to find out if somebody had stolen money from me. I've seen this happen before too, where I think it was Wells Fargo, or it was one of the bigger banks, maybe it was Chase Bank, but they were going to charge me, I think it was $1 per page Yeah, $1 per page. That's what they're going to charge, I believe. $1 per page for a printout. And this person is only getting a printout of recent transactions to find out if people are stealing money from her. So it sounds like a fraud case. And yet the bank is, instead of showing her the transactions, is going to do a printout and is going to charge her a surcharge. She doesn't say how much it's going to be, though. Another person says, one smaller bank issued me a surcharge. Issued a surcharge to help me get online access. So in order to get access to his account online, the bank charged them a surcharge. So the customer representative, whoever, was going to do set this person up online, charge them. How crazy is that? So banks continue to charge these little surcharges. But why? Well, here's the reason why. Okay? What's happening right now? Actually, let me finish reading you this article and I'll explain exactly what's going on. It says some of the structural aspects of banks regarding their balance sheet remain risk to banks as the Fed continues to try to anchor inflation with higher rates for longer. It says S&P on Monday cut ratings on Associated Bank Corp, Valley National Bank Corp, just on funding risk and higher reliance on brokered deposits. Now, let's touch on that for a second. What they're doing is there's a higher risk because people are not going out there and just going to get loans. They're not, because banks aren't giving them to them. We also have higher rates. With higher rates, people have a higher payment. Some people can't afford to go and get a car or a home or just a personal line of credit. They can't do it. The other issue is people are worried about taking their money to the bank. Okay, here you go, Bank of America. Here's $600 for you. I'm going to hold on to $100 for myself, and hopefully I can get that money back in the future. People don't want to do that. Instead, they're saying, oh, okay, Bank of America, well, here's $100 for you, so at least if I need to use my debit card, I can, or pay some bills. There's $100 for you. I'm going to keep $600 for myself because I don't trust you. That's what's happening. And so in order for banks to make up for the lack of money that's coming in, they're charging us surcharges. Yeah. The other thing they're trying to do is sell off some of their assets. Here's something else that's going on, and you may not have known this. So a few things that are going on right now, especially with the larger banks, some of the smaller ones as well, is we are actually seeing them sell. They're selling locations. They're closing down certain branches. So and this happened to here in my area, there was a Chase Bank that shut down, and this was a couple years back. The Chase Bank shut down. The closest one was like 15, 20 miles away. So because of that, my friend, or a bunch of friends, they switched banks. But guess what Chase Bank did? They sold that location. Now they may have sold it prematurely because this is early on in the pandemic, and now obviously things are very, a lot more expensive. But that's what they did. But banks are consolidating businesses, right? They're shutting down branches. They're going online, which means less customer service, which means less employees, less overhead. That's what they're doing. Okay? So I just want you to be aware of this. This is happening. Here's something else that's happened. So my friend sent me a message. He tried to deposit a check that he received from his boss. He's in sales, so it's, I think, like a sales bonus. So he was deposited his check. It was a $5,000 check. Okay, and the bank he asked for $2,000 back. He wanted $2,000 in cash. The bank told him no, they couldn't do that. They'd give him $800. And they also said that, and again, his bonus was $5,000. I know he had more than $800 in his account. They only want to give him $800. This is his bank. This is happening all over the place. Banks are trying to, they're not stealing your money, but they're not giving you what's yours. Again, you deposit $700, let's say, and you want to take $400 out, the bank shouldn't say no. It's your money. But keep in mind, the bank has to say no, because if everybody goes in and says, okay, I got $700 and everybody wants to take $400 out, they do that every day. The bank doesn't have that kind of money. They just don't. So right now, the risk is that more banks are going to be closing down. More banks are going to see this financial crisis that we experienced, months back, months ago. So just be aware that if you want to protect your money, it might be wise to not keep everything in the bank, or at least diversify it amongst multiple banks. Okay? At least that's my advice to you. So, just wanted to fill you in on what's going on at this time. Banks are currently in a crisis. We are seeing a glimmer of this right now, but very soon it's really going to be, out there. The media is going to show it. We're going to see it all over the place. Again, we may be months away, but it's coming very soon. So, just wanted to fill you in on what's going on. If you have any questions, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.